serendipity, synchronicity, I don't know, one of those things. Having a chat to local restaurateur Neil Slater a couple of months ago about life, the universe and everything, nobbies. Don't mention the war. To Neil's decision to become very, very much involved in supporting an organisation called OzHarvest. Anyway, Neil and I had that conversation one day, and I think it was the next morning on my way to work. I stopped at the lights at the bottom of City Road and Glebe Road there, and I pulled up right behind the bright yellow OzHarvest truck. And it was then I knew that I had to ring Ronni Kahn. So I did. And now she's in Newcastle and joins me here. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
How are you?
I'm absolutely wonderful. I love Newcastle.
It's a good city.
It's beautiful, and I've been coming here fairly regularly in the last couple of months because we have OzHarvest here in Newcastle.
Ronni, when did you start OzHarvest for Dummies? How did it come about and when?
Well, my background is hospitality, so I've been in the hospitality industry for the last 20 years. I kept seeing leftover food. I kept seeing that there was food, perfectly good food going to waste. And where I could, occasionally I would take that food to a community service late at night. And so the concept was there. But when 6 years ago I reached a point in my own life that I wanted to make a significant contribution, I realized that actually I could create the missing link between food and people in need. And that's really what the concept behind OzHarvest is.
Okay, so you take the food that otherwise is going to end up in landfill, really good fresh produce, and you give it to people who
we give it. Absolutely. We deliver to services, to community agencies, to charities that have a food rescue program that already are feeding people, and we deliver them our food. So we do call it food rescue because we rescue good food and we feed it to people in need.
How much or how significant is the waste of good food in Australia?
Are you ready for this?
Yeah? No. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I just tell you that in Sydney, currently we are collecting the equivalent of 10 tons of food a week. That is food that would otherwise go to waste.
That's more than my family gets through.
Exactly. That's food that energy, fuel, all those resources have already been expended to produce, and it would otherwise have gone to landfill. That's just in Sydney. Let me tell you that in the 2 months that we've been in Newcastle, we have delivered the equivalent of 23,000 meals from food that would otherwise have gone to waste.
And you kind of don't officially kind of exist here yet, do you?
Exactly. We're just in the very beginning stages. So we have 10 food donors so far who are awesome. But that's because most of the other food donors don't even know that they're there. They don't even know that they can do this. So that's why being on your program today is such a wonderful opportunity, because it allows food outlets, people in the food industry, to hear and know that they can do this. And I probably need to tell you why they can do this. And that's because we had the law amended in July 2005 to allow food donors to give their food away for free without fear of liability.
And I was going to ask you about that, because food safety law is a minefield.
Absolutely. And that was one of the obstacles I came across when I started OzHarvest.
Okay, so how did you have to prove to the authorities that this could be done safely and there would be no problems?
Well, basically, we had done all our homework in safe food handling and professional food handling, professional food rescue. And so it was a case of really lobbying to show that good food was out there and good food should not go to waste. And luckily, I have wonderful people around me and lawyers and good people who helped us lobby. And so we've had the law amended in New South Wales, in the ACT, in Queensland and South Australia.
Ronni Kahn is my guest on 12:33 ABC Newcastle. Ronni is the founder of OzHarvest.org.au if you'd like to go and find out more about what really is a sensational story. Once you have had that law amended, how much did people open up to you? Was that the sticking point, the fact that they felt they could be sued?
Absolutely. The minute they realized that they could give their food away for free. No chef works in his kitchen, loves the food that he's making, loves the food he prepares and wants to see it go to waste. So that, and on the other side, I don't have to educate anyone because all of us have been told by our mums, by our nanas, that we shouldn't waste food. So everybody just loves what we do because it makes so much sense. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, so for example, Neil Slater, who's hiding out in the foyer at the moment in his bright yellow OzHarvest shirt, how is he, as a restaurateur and local businessman, how is he able to help you?
Okay, so first of all, I need to say publicly and out loud that there would not be an OzHarvest Newcastle if it weren't for Neil Slater and Scratchleys.
He's shy.
He is shy. He is amazing. He heard me talk and decided that if there was a possibility of saving food and not letting it go to waste, Newcastle would want to be part of that action. And so Neil lobbied me. Neil made sure we came to Newcastle, and it's thanks to Neil that actually OzHarvest Newcastle exists. So, for example, Scratchleys, on a personal level, what Neil did, he'd been saving his containers of ice cream. The containers that the ice cream came in. So those are the containers that we actually collect our food in. He had hundreds stored because he is such an environmentalist and didn't want to be putting that plastic back into the system. So just very simply, of course, he's spoken to all his friends. He's spoken to the whole of Newcastle. And so that has allowed us to start and be here much quicker than it would have been if I had just decided to come to Newcastle.
But it's not just the restaurateurs, is it?
It's definitely not just the restaurateurs. We have supermarkets, we have delis, we have takeaways, we have restaurants, we have convention centres, we have leagues clubs. All of those are the people who have food and who can give us food. And as I said, we already have 10 donors here in Newcastle giving us food on a daily basis.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yes.
Ronni Kahn is my guest here at 12:33 ABC Newcastle. Ronni is the founder of OzHarvest, and there is a lot of information on the website, ozharvest.org.au. It makes me wonder, though, Ronni, if we are throwing out so much good food, have our buyers got problems?
Oh, look, there's no doubt that there's an oversupply.
How do we end up with that surplus in the first place?
$5.2 billion worth of food gets wasted every year.
Oh, Ronni.
It is extraordinary. We're certainly making some businesses more efficient, but there are some areas that we just actually will always overcater. Some foods are very cheap to produce. It would seem that bread is actually a commodity that there is such a huge surplus and that even some of our agencies actually can't manage to use all the time. So we need, it's the whole cycle, Carol. We need to relook at how much we're producing so that we can see how much we can use so that we are not wasting this valuable resource of our energy, our soil, all of that.
It is madness, isn't it?
So there's no doubt that we have to relook at every aspect. But in the meanwhile, that food is there, and instead of letting it go to waste,
you could have the beautiful yellow truck come around to your workplace, yes, and pick up food. Now, to donate food or funds, you can do all of that through the website.
Yep.
What about for those organisations who might be listening who are going, Ronni, I need OzHarvest's help?
All they have to do is call the OzHarvest office, and I just don't know the number off by heart.
I bet you I can. The Newcastle number?
Yes, please, is 4940...
8191.
8191. It's on speed dial in my phone, so I don't need to know it.
Yeah, isn't that just one of the downsides of technology? The Newcastle number of OzHarvest, based right here in Newcastle West near us, 49408191. So if you are an organisation and you think you could use Ronnie's help, then you really should get in touch and see if perhaps OzHarvest can help you. What do you have to do now for Newcastle?
Okay, so there's two things I need to make clear. $1 allows one meal to be delivered. So what we need to do is we need to raise more money so we can deliver more meals.
Pay
it's
for
very
fuel for
simple.
The truck.
Yep, we've delivered 23,000 meals already.
Okay.
Every time somebody gives us $1, we can deliver one more meal. So we need people to know about us. We need food donors to know about us so they give us more food. We need people to be actually perhaps find a spare $10 a month. $10 a month, $120 a year, 120 more meals that could be delivered to people in need.
All right. You're an inspirational woman, Ronni. Thank you very much for coming in. I was so delighted to get a phone call from OzHarvest this morning saying, Ronnie's here.
Thank you so much.
Bring her in.
Because it's just so wonderful for us to be able to share it. And we know that the people of Newcastle will be thrilled and will want to take us on board. We know it.
There are people in this city who need just as much support as people in any other city in the country. So, Ronni, thank you. Thank you for your time. Good to meet you. And if you'd like some more information, ozharvest.org.au or that Newcastle number, which is 49408191. Give us a buzz if you'd like to know more, and we'll most certainly get in touch. Ronni, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're just a darling.
Oh, thank you. I think Ronnie's found her life's journey, don't you?